Lisa Gawlas, The Movement of Timelines, Dimensional Folds and the Bending of the Light Fields, and more, July 28, 2016. Webpage, www.mysoulcenter.com. The Movement of Timelines, of Energetic Vortexes, of Dimensional Folds. It happens at such a high vibrational frequency, rarely do we know it's even happening. I think though, I have been given a strange glimpse so we can start to know. It started yesterday, this damn jonesing for a donut, not any donut, very particularly a Dunkin' donut. And even though it truly is in walking distance, which I must say, just about everything is within walking distance now, I had let in my ass. I didn't want to go anywhere. The weight of feeling unconnected has been getting to me. Unconnected like I was in New Mexico, which was 24/7. I could feel the space of 3D density starting to creep in. God, it's thick at the ground level of life. But no worries, joy and gratitude and beauty is still constant within me. That can and will never find its way into the background of my life ever again. Ever. Waking up this morning, my whole focus was on getting to Walmart to get my mother's eye drop prescriptions. I just now realized I didn't even ask her if she wanted to go. I personally would never forget such a thing, but I really understand why, now. Granted, the ride to Walmart isn't even 5 minutes, but decided I am going to put my audiobook in and listen to something other than news or the Family Feud. I opened up Keepers of the Garden, hoping I could find where the end of the book talking about being taken to the new earth or staying behind to help on this one was at. Someone mentioned that on Facebook and I needed a review. I swipe of the fast forward button, I arrived to that exact space in the book. Odd. Perfect too. On my way back from Walmart, I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts. My dear good God, the young man who took care of me was the spitting image of my cousin that killed himself about 30 years ago, right down to the broad smile he got from his father. Is it weird that my cousin's mother lives a few streets over from my mother? I got my dozen of donuts, yeah. My mother has a bigger sweet tooth than I do, lol, and as I walked into my car, I heard clear as a bell, yes, that is Michael reincarnated. How cool, how strange. As I was re-listening to the audiobook and realizing, much of this scenario is getting ready to play out here, I decided it was time to download the book Custodians. Beyond Abduction, by Dolores Cannon. I don't usually sit down and read a book anymore, but now that my drive to anywhere is less than 5 minutes, audiobooks are taking a backseat to my listening pleasure. One of the main reasons I don't read books in the traditional way any longer is because a few sentences and I am off in la la land downloading whatever got triggered by what I just read. Now, I will be thrilled if that can happen again. Well, let me tell you, Lisa found her new groove. My mother in her room, TV off, lights off. Just me and Dolores magic. Instantly the downloads and visuals started. OMG, thank you. I have missed these moments more than I realized. Thank God this moment lasted over 3 hours. I just finished chapter 1 lol. Too much information came through for me to hope to remember it tomorrow or the next time I have a chance to write, since tomorrow is my mother's cataract surgery day. So much vast information came through. I am not going to tell you the triggers, just the information as I am remembering it, in no particular order. The first thing that was shown to me was the light vortex that has been created by each and every one of you, and comes into the living room and into me. I am a living energy transformer. But the transformer itself only works when I sit in that one spot on the couch, the one I mentioned the other day in my sharing where I knew one of my vortexes was finally forming. I watched as the energy flickered from me to my mother's chair, very much like a slow strobe light. Her strongest energy signature is in that chair, and that is where the energy pulses to. My team explained to me that the rest of the home was sealed off from this energy, hence why my bath was ineffective, since that is my mother's bathroom. She can only handle so much, and she does get the energy from the pulse to the chair even when she is in her room. More muted down though than when she is sitting directly in it. This is on purpose and for her protection. Any sort of spiritual conversation enhances the light field, which is why she taps out immediately and has to go into her room. They are the ones that also block the full effect of the hypnosis for now. She's already undergoing radical change in her body and light field. Too much is indeed too much. Then they showed me the energy striations going outwards towards everyone in her personal collective consciousness, changing not only people's inner feelings of life and nurture, but also affecting DNA down to the level of light. True genetic alterations taking place. I also seen my own energy body, still in radical change. We all are. Then I was shown what we would consider timelines. Instead, Spirit showed them as pipelines, but not straight ones at all, more like one part of a swastika. There were several of them as I watched them move like a game of Tetris and then connect in new ways end to end. Spirit also said with this movement, there is a tremendous bend in the light. Next thing I know I was shown a diamond shape, the light intensifying and becoming clearer at the top half and the dark getting darker on the bottom half. At this early stage of the game, we cannot enhance the light field of heaven on earth without intensifying the energy of those choosing hell on earth. Duality has no bias. I think my team heard me not only thanking them, but bitching about waiting so damn long for my reconnection in this way. They explained, they had to wait until the DNC was over to be sure of which direction our Earth was moving in. Just to put in here, Spirit does not know everything, not when human free will is always in play. They were truly waiting to see what Bernie would end up choosing to do. His choice gave way to the direction we would ultimately move within. Now don't think for a moment one person does not affect an entire world. With his choice to tap out and back Hillary, I kept asking why he chose that, and pretty much, it came down to it's none of my business lol, but they did reiterate free will, and gave me a flashback to my own personal choices I had just written about in my last sharing. The door to chaos has been opened. We must learn to move in a moment's notice, because it will release slowly and build from there. My thoughts went back to the donuts and the giggle I always have inside of me of the mother who once did not eat candy at all, now is worse than the child with anything sweet or sticky. The sugar molecule is very important to our hers and my light bodies. We do not always understand what makes us tick at the cellular level of light, rarely do we. We tend to go into group food fashions not realizing what works for one person is energetically detrimental to another. We all have a very unique instruction set within our body as a whole, physical and light, and different energies are catalysts for different things within different people. For me personally, to take away my sugar would be to deaden some of my senses and receptors of those higher frequencies. My mother inherited this sugar tooth when I did my core healing around her and activated her light body through activating my own. It truly is uncanny to see how many of my traits, that she never possessed before, that she possesses now. Something as out of the ordinary as a nightlight in every room, same exact cutlery, curtains, crazy stuff. Even she is in awe of it. As I was reading the part when Dolores was talking about the ET's gene splicing in various ways to help us become affected by certain things like cancers and viruses and stuff, I immediately seen my own cancer and the experiment that unfolded with that journey not within my awareness until today. Many of us have agreed to be the testers, the lab rats if you will, to help the whole of humanity. Some of the experiments work well, some need tweaking. All agreed prior to the experiment. Now we may think it was agreed to before incarnation, not necessarily. It was unknown which way humanity would go. A lot is still unknown, so it was agreed to during our sleep time visits to other realms with our friends. I was given a small glimpse of the field I will just call August. Like large thin cocoon-shaped things forming, what the ETs that are assisting in assimilating this information for me referred to as various consciousnesses. So much is still taking place as we move into the fields of our new experiences and collectives. Enhancements in many areas, degradations in others. Keeping in mind, the higher the light in the top of the diamond, the more intense the energy of dark rustles. I am sure there's more, but suddenly, the flow just stopped. But as I said, I just finished chapter 1. And since I was in such a connected flow, I of course asked about readings again. Not yet. We cannot fathom that energies that are happening, the new pipelines connecting, and the movement of the field is shifting like a kaleidoscope, as is the light field within our bodies, our cells. are vastly changing collectives. But it was stated that it took this long for me to find my connection because of the information that is now coming through. What we will be putting out over this next week will be like the preface of our new book, Heads and Hearts, Up. I love you all so much and thank you from the depths of my soul for your patience waiting for your readings. Big hugs filled with sugar and spice and everything magical. Lisa Gawlas. www.mysoulcenter.com